Blessed day to all of you, dear friends, especially those who are following or joining us through this live streaming in our worship here at the Diocesan Shrine of Jesus the Divine Word. Last Wednesday in our Bible study with Father Randy Flores, precisely we're studying about the prophet Jeremiah, and the opening slide of his presentation was the picture, a painting about Jeremiah, and the commentary of Father Randy was ito yung pinaka malungkot na propeta, sabi niya. Kasi nakaganon. And then all his, as if that day was, it was really, shall I say, the saddest, maybe the saddest prophet that we find, he said. And we heard him today, now, in the first reading. Jeremiah, who complained that he was that there were whisperings of many, he said, terror on every side, denounce and let us denounce him. No. A prophet not being appreciated, not heard, and treated badly by his own people, becomes the image of Jesus' destiny also, being rejected and persecuted by the leaders of the people. It is interesting to note that this rejection, this act of rejection of Jesus happened precisely in the temple, the place of worship, the center and the symbol of the Israelites' religiosity. And the cause of persecution and the attempt to stone him is no longer his failure to fulfill or follow the law, like the law of Sabbath, for example. Now, the accusation is that they wanted to kill him because of his claim of being the Son of God, which they consider blasphemous. Jesus responds to that accusation by announcing that that identity of his, of being the Son of God, is not exclusive, but actually inclusive. That salvation consists in this divine filiation, or being adopted children of God. It is entering into the scope of the divinity, which is achieved precisely through the Son accepting the words of Jesus. But we should also recognize here that it is not easy to accept this divine status of one like Jesus, who in spite of all doesn't stop to be human. Often when I imagine and think, if I would have been a contemporary of Jesus, most probably I would have accepted also easily his status as a prophet of Israel. But to accept his condition, his claim, his status as the Son of God, or as God himself, that would be very difficult to accept, just as many of us do not accept someone or people who claim to be the appointed Son of God, we just laugh at them. Now, my question is, would I have made the step to accept that He is God? To make a step of faith like this needs, it seems, a jump into the unknown, a leap into the unknown. Nevertheless, Jesus insists on His identity and invites us also to leap, to make that leap, but gives us a series of testimony of His works. His claim is not a mere claim, an empty affirmation, but it is supported by works. There is in Him the perfect harmony between words and His deeds. His word is alive and powerful, effective, is a word that accomplishes, that is translated into action. These are saving words, saving actions, which speak for themselves. And that was his basis. That when He said, be healed, be cured, the person is cured. And He announced the good news to the poor, etc. Meaning, His words and actions were testimonies of His divine status. Words and actions indicate that Jesus, in declaring Himself God, He does not impose Himself to others. On the contrary, He humbles Himself. He approaches and places Himself on the level to make us participant in that same identity. And this is one of the beautiful lessons that we can learn today. Jesus was convinced, was firm in insisting His identity, even in the face of threat. Unlike many or some people we know, they easily trade off their identity for political or other benefits. Persons who was known to be very good in his advocacy for some time, turning out and selling his reputation and himself to the highest bidder for the possibility of political benefits, forgetting one's identity. It's a sad story. This is the call, the example of Jesus. He stood his ground. He was faithful to his identity. We, as children of God, this is also the challenge for all of us. To be firm, to be faithful to our identity as children of God, and to live according to this identity. Someone compared this firmness to one's identity to the moon. The author is Deng Ming Dao. No, he said, the moon doesn't fight, he said. It attacks no one. It does not worry. It does not crush others. It keeps to one course, but it is its very nature. It gently influences. What other body could pull an entire ocean from shore to shore than the moon? The moon is faithful to its nature, and its power is never diminished. And I think as we face so many difficulties, challenges to our values, to our faith, to our convictions, may we have the strength of Jesus in facing his adversaries and sticking to it, to his identity as the Son of God. And may our following of him who was courageous in proclaiming and maintaining his conviction, his identity, help us also to be faithful to him and to our vocation. Amen.